Welcome to the Professional Car Washing and Detailing's Wash Talk. I'm your host, Brian Ankney. Today, my guest is Kyle Martin from Oasis Car Wash Systems. Welcome, Kyle.
Hey, thanks for having me, Brian.
Where'd you come in from today?
I come from Kansas, little town, Galena, Kansas.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Akron, Ohio?
It's awesome. Came up Sunday, went to Michigan to see one of our distributors up there, and then came down here and got to drive around a little bit before I got here, so got to explore a little bit and got to tour your guys' building here, and it's been fun. I really like it.
Cool. Yeah, you came at a good time. And one, the weather's nice in Akron this time of year. The trees are changing colors, but we also have our Road to Apex vehicle out there in the studio. We have both of our bikes for two wheels, two ways. Like, we've got a lot of toys out there right now.
Oh, yeah. Got to see it. It was awesome. I loved it.
Cool. Let's start this interview with just a little bit about you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the career path that brought you to where you are today?
Yeah, so right after high school, I tried the college thing, and it didn't really work out. I really wasn't wanting to go to college, wasn't feeling it. And so I joined the Marine Corps and took that route and did that for 4 years. And my dad has been in the car wash industry for over 20 years. Worked for a couple different companies and stuff. And so, you know, when you're a kid, you want to be like your dad. And so when I was getting ready to get out of the Marine Corps, I had talked to him and asked him if there was any jobs available. And he had just started with Oasis a couple of years before I got out. And so he said, yeah, we'll see what we can find. We'll see if we can find something for you here. And so he talked to the Wades, who own Oasis, and they also own car wash sites. And so they said, yeah, we're going to build a new site, and you can come on and manage that site for us. And that was great. It gave me a job coming back. I have a wife and a daughter at the time, and so it gave us some stability to move back to the area. And so they brought me on, and this was beginning of 2021, and we just had our grand opening for that site that I was supposed to manage about a month ago. So we had a delay in construction and stuff, and so throughout that time I managed their sites for them and did some service work and stuff like that, and then they moved me over into the sales department a couple of months ago.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
You know, our companies have a lot in common. You know, Babcock's Media, we're still family-owned 103 years later. In a world full of consolidation and private equity, that's not as common as it used to be.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about your company's history?
Yeah, so there's two brothers that own it now, Stephen and Curtis Wade, and then their other brother, Troy, he works in a leadership position there as well. And their dad started the company in 1964 and started in the agricultural company, agricultural business, and started making like cattle chutes and pond management equipment and stuff like that. And then in the 1980s, they saw a need for a car wash that would adjust to the width of a vehicle. And so in 1985, we came out with the first touchless, fully adjustable car wash, the Adjust-O-Matic. And so it adjusted to the size of a vehicle. As vehicles were becoming more smaller and more fuel efficient, we saw that need, and so that's something that they came up with. And then Stephen and Curtis took over in the 90s, and so it's still a family-owned company today. Same family that started it in 1964 is the same company that still owns it in 2023.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the world of car washing. Can you tell me a little bit about why are in-bay automatic tunnels becoming so popular today?
Yeah, so with the in-bay market, we have seen a shift away from people that are washing their cars at their house because people are becoming more economically conscious. And so there was a lot of people that wash their cars at their house and were wasting a lot of water. And so that's a big reason that the in-bay market has increased, is because the water consumption in an in-bay is less than what it would be to wash your car at your house. And then for the tunnel aspect of it, the in-bay automatic tunnels, you don't have to have an attendant there. So you can run 24/7, 365. And your overhead is a lot less with it. The cost of equipment is a lot less. You don't have to have quite as long of a bay. And you get all of the perks of a tunnel without the overhead cost of labor and the least expensive equipment compared to a tunnel.
How do they perform in terms of speed compared to a traditional tunnel?
Yeah, so they're not going to be as fast as a traditional tunnel. They're not a conveyorized system, so they're not as fast. But with our Typhoon, our touchless equipment that we've got, the average wash speed on that is about 2 minutes. And so you can have a customer at the pay station selecting their wash. You can have a customer in the wash bay that's washing for anywhere from 1.5 to 3 minutes on the top end, and then someone in the dryer bay getting their car dried. And so you have the constant flow of traffic through that, similar to a tunnel. Not as fast, but you also don't have all of the extra overhead and stuff like we were just talking about.
Well, let's dive a little deeper into the pros and cons.
Yeah.
Because we talked about speed, we talked about cost. Can you expand that to maybe some other topics? Like what are some pros and cons of both options?
So with the tunnels, obviously you're going to have the speed. That's going to be your biggest thing there is speed. You're able to wash 800, 900 cars a day at some of these extremely busy sites through a tunnel. With the tunnel, though, one of the things that we talked about was having an attendant there. So you're limited on operations and the hours that you can operate. You're also, with a tunnel, subject to the customer doing so many certain things. They have to pull in right. They have to put their car in neutral. You're dragging the car through the conveyor. So you're trying to wash a car, the front and back and the sides of a car as it's moving one direction. Whereas in in-bay, the car is actually stationary, and so the wash equipment moves around the car, so you're able to wash all 4 sides of the car while it's sitting there still, so you're able to get a cleaner wash than you are in a tunnel.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, let's go back to the in-bay tunnel. Let's talk about the layout. If somebody's considering building an in-bay tunnel, what's the optimal layout for an in-bay tunnel?
And that's one of the things that we do is we look at sites that people are looking at putting an in-bay tunnel on. And so we'll do a site analysis and we can do site layouts and stuff like that to help give you an idea of where it's going to go and what it's going to look like. But typically, depending on the equipment that you want to put in there, you're looking anywhere from 60 to 80 foot of bay length. And the way that that's set up is you'll want to have enough room to let a few cars stack up at your pay station and then someone at the pay station, and then you'll have that 60 or 80 foot bay, and it has 3 doors. So it's got a door at the front to let people in and out and kind of a visual cue along with a sign to when they can drive into the wash bay. Then there's a middle door in between the wet bay and the dry bay. Again, kind of that visual cue, and also to keep the wet bay, and the dry bay, the dry bay.
Yeah.
And so once that middle door comes up, then they drive into the dry bay, and then the dryer, again, actually moves around the car on a rail system. And so you're washing from front to back and back to front, whereas in a tunnel, like we were talking about, they're just dragged through it, and it's just drying their car as they go through. This is actually drying both directions, so you're able to get a better dry out of it as well.
Let's move on to memberships. I mean, memberships are what make the car washing world go round, right?
They are.
So from your experience and your customers' experience, how does an in-bay tunnel compare membership-wise to a regular in-bay or a regular tunnel?
They are very, very similar. We use a company right now called Beacon Mobile at the sites that we own and operate. And the way that works is it's all app-based, so they give you a customized app that's specific to your business. We've got 8 different sites, and so they're able to geo-fence those sites, so that way when a customer is there, it lets them know, this is the closest car wash to you, and so they can choose that wash. And you can set it up through Beacon Mobile in really whatever configuration that you want to. You can do an unlimited package to where they can just drive through and then come back around if they wanted to, or you can make it 1 a day, or you can limit them to so many a month. And it all works through the app, and you just scan the QR code, and then they are able to select whatever extra features they want. We offer an a la carte program called our My Wash Buy Up technology. And so you can sell that through the pay station, or you can sell it through the app. So not only are you selling your single customers, your single purchase customers, a buy-up option, but you're also able to offer that through the app as well. And so that's one of the things that we started several years ago, was that a la carte program. And we have seen it increase revenue anywhere from 10 to 15% depending on the wash.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's been a huge thing for us. And like I said, it works very similar, and it leads you into free vacuums. That's one of the things that Tunnels did that we weren't able to offer before we started with Beacon Mobile. But through that subscription service, through Beacon Mobile, we're able to offer our customers free vacuums as well. And so it all, again, just works right through the app, so they can scan the QR code at the pay station and they can drive through the wash, they can pull around to a vacuum, and they can scan a QR code and the vacuum starts for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it unlimited vacuums, or are they limited? Or
It's unlimited vacuums. So
that's for all the members?
And that's for all the members, yes.
members?
So we've got them set up to where if you're a single pay customer, then you can come up and you can pay to vacuum out your car, or to drive people towards that membership, we've set it up to where those vacuums are free and it's unlimited. So you could sit there and, scan it and vacuum for 4 minutes and scan it again and keep going. So that's one of the things that we wanted to do to get that set up, so that way we could compete with Tunnels.
That's a good idea. Speaking of your washes, how does your membership program work? Is it unlimited washes just all the time? Is it so like one per day, so many per month? Like what do you guys do?
Yeah, so again, it's customizable depending on whatever you're wanting to do. But at our sites, we've got it set up to 6 washes in a month, but it's any vehicle that you own. So as long as your cellular device that you signed up for the subscription service on, as long as that cellular device is in the car, it's going to wash any car that you have. And so it's kind of like a family plan. And so mostly people will wash their car on average about 3.5 times a month is what we've seen the national average as. And so to set it up on 6 washes in a month, the average household, figure has 2 vehicles. And so that gives each vehicle 3 washes in a month for one price. And so it's kind of a family plan in that sense, but you can use it on any vehicle that you have.
That's interesting. That's a great model.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Boy, it's always funny, I talk to different people around the industry, and it seems like anybody that's ever had like the unlimited has like these crazy people that will come and like use the wash like 8 times in a row on a Saturday night. Like,
yeah.
And so I always look forward to hearing these crazy stories. Like, who are these people? Like, where do they come from?
We've had a couple. We had a subscription service prior to Beacon that we had customers that would use it, they'd try to use it 2-3 times a day. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you trying to do that for?
Well, it can't be good for the car.
No, not at all.
Do you have a job or a family? Like,
you're just driving around. Yeah. It's crazy.
I just love driving through car washes.
Yeah, makes it fun. Yeah. Especially when you have all the lights and stuff. Like we put up the G&G lighting at our site, the new one in Joplin, and we put up all the G&G lighting and stuff there. And so one of the things that they're getting ready to come out with is like beat mapping for those lights. And so you're able to like watch the lights turn with the different music and stuff. And so they're getting ready to do all that. So yeah, you got a big light show. People just circle through and have a fun time in a car wash. Yeah.
Get some popcorn and just drive the family through all night long.
Yeah.
Well, I have one last question for you. I know at your washes you guys have a self-serve option for membership. Could you talk about that a little bit?
We do. So that's something that through our conversations initially with Beacon Mobile, that's something that we wanted to offer, because that's something that it really isn't offered in our area, and we hadn't heard of it before, a self-serve subscription like that. And so through working with them, we came up with a self-serve subscription that is 2 24-minute sessions in a month, and it also comes with 2 free vacuums. And so they can come in, they'll scan the QR code that's on the meter box, and it'll start the wash, and it'll have a 24-minute countdown. And so they can wash their vehicle, and then when they're done, they can go over, scan the QR code on the vacuum out their car, and then a couple weeks later, come back, do it again, and they're good to go. And it's all for just one price, so that's awesome.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice. I'm a fisherman. That would be great if you have a carload of buddies and you just came out of the marshes with your waders on.
Yeah.
24 minutes, I'll do you, you do me.
Yeah. Wash the waders off and wash the back of the truck out. And it's awesome. It's awesome.
Well, Kyle, thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
It's been a good time.
It has. It's been fun.
Yes, and thank you for taking the time to join us for this Professional Car Washing and Detailing's Wash Talk. I'm your host, Brian Ankney. Today, my guest has been Kyle Martin from Oasis. We hope to see you again on a future episode.